Freed American hostage David Jacobson's family is airborne tonight en route to a reunion with their father. They'll fly to Wiesbaden, West Germany, where Jacobson arrived earlier today. Tonight, late word from the U.S. Air Base in Germany that Jacobson has been examined by doctors and given a preliminary clean bill of health.
Is there any evidence that he had been physically abused by his captors?
Initial evaluation did not reveal any evidence of physical abuse.
Today's joy is tempered by the fact that up to 6 Americans are still in captivity. On the campaign trail today, President Reagan said efforts to free the others continue, but there's no way to tell if they'll be successful. The ambassador to South Africa was sworn in today. Edward Perkins becomes the first black American ambassador to the white minority-ruled country. And he vowed today that he'll let the Pretoria government know that America will not tolerate apartheid. However, Perkins added that he'll have a special empathy for both the minority and majority in South Africa. Nancy Reagan's press secretary tonight says the First Lady is anxious to have her personal maid back. Anita Costello has been on leave since August when she was charged with trying to smuggle ammunition to her native Paraguay. Today, a federal judge in Virginia dropped the charges, saying Costello was not actually involved in the smuggling. The Brown versus Topeka Board of Education case is all but over. One witness may be recalled, but lawyers have been told to submit final briefs summarizing their cases. A decision by federal Judge Richard Rogers is not expected for several months. Today, the U.S. Supreme Court let stand a somewhat related case from Norfolk, Virginia. It refused to throw out a neighborhood elementary school plan that ended the city's 15-year practice of busing to integrate schools. The city argued busing was no longer needed since the schools had become racially balanced. The justices also ruled today that states cannot stop payments to private groups, such as Planned Parenthood, just because they offer abortions or abortion counseling. We all head to the polls tomorrow, or we should. Get in a plug there for folks to get. And right. Take an umbrella. Don't worry about the rain. Don't let that stop you from your constitutional right, for heaven's sake.
That's right. The rain is headed back into southwestern Kansas. It'll be here throughout the day tomorrow. Sometimes light, sometimes heavy. So be prepared, but still get out and vote. Right now, we do have generally dry conditions over northeast Kansas with cloudy skies continuing. Temperatures now in the mid-40s to around 50 degrees over the northeastern corner of the state. An hour ago, temperatures varied not much different. 48 here in Topeka, 49 at Wichita, but 20 up at Fargo, North Dakota, and there is a pretty good bubble of high pressure sending temperatures tonight into the teens and 20s across the northern plains, already below freezing at Minneapolis, 40s and 50s across Missouri, 60s still found in portions of Arkansas, 54 down at Oklahoma City, and really not a bad evening for temperatures across the state of Kansas. Aside from the cloud cover, you can see the brighter enhancement of the clouds over southwestern Kansas. That's where most of the precipitation is at the present time. It's moving our way, and just ahead of it, they are reporting very dense fog forming in the Salina area. If you're headed to the west on I-70 or anywhere through central Kansas, right ahead of the precipitation, you're going to encounter some pretty dense fog as the moisture increases across the plains. But once you get into the rain, the fog will not be quite as a problem, as visibilities will increase where you do have the rain. Now, the satellite picture tonight shows a broad area of moisture hanging back in the desert southwest. There is a low-pressure system at about 18,000 feet that's going to come clipping into the central plains, therefore bringing chances for rain to eastern Kansas, and I might add, very good chances. Already some heavy thunderstorms down in the panhandle of Texas. That activity, most of the thunderstorm activity will stay south of us, but with the resurgence of moisture through eastern Kansas, it looks like a pretty wet day tomorrow and tomorrow night. The outlook for tomorrow brings that low-pressure system in southern Texas to around Dallas, spreading a lot of rain over the plains, especially the central and southern plains. Partly cloudy skies expected over the Dakotas into Minnesota, and they will experience sunshine for Election Day over the the western half of the country, and also in the northeast. They should have a sunny but cool day as that high that's dropping temperatures in the 20s and 30s scoots across the lakes and keeps temperatures only in the 30s and 40s for highs in some areas to our north and east. Our highs tomorrow will look like this. We'll have a band of 40s stretching across a good portion of the state of Kansas, maybe around Chanute, Coffeyville. They'll see temperatures in the low 50s. 60s and 70s on tap as you move in the southern Mississippi Valley, but a cool day to our north as 40s extend all the way into the northern plains, and a few 30s will linger across Minnesota and the western Great Lakes. Now, the outlook for Wednesday improved a little bit. We will have showers here in the morning, and they will begin to lighten up by noon. It looks like we should see a generally dry afternoon and evening by Wednesday. Right now, we do have cloudy skies, 48 degrees, and a humidity of 96%. The barometer rising. The winds are west-southwest at 4 miles per hour. Today's high was 50, our morning low 42, and we picked up 36 hundredths of an inch of rain today. That leaves us ahead for the month and well ahead for the year on the rainfall count. Tonight, cloudy with showers, mainly in the southern viewing area. Drizzle in the north. We'll see a low tonight of 45. Rain all over tomorrow, heaviest in the afternoon and evening hours, the high 48. And for Wednesday, occasional light rain and drizzle, mainly in the morning hours, our high 49 after low of 44. With the sunshine on the way back, we'll see temperatures warming, but right now it looks like the opening day of pheasant and quail season in Kansas will be wet, especially for the northeastern two-thirds of the state.
Is anything sacred? Election day,
No.
the opening day of pheasant season, for crying out loud.
It's all a wash.
Literally. Thanks, Dave. Tonight's Crime Stoppers takes a bit of a different twist, focusing on the construction industry. As Jim Doblin reports, it focuses specifically on problems of vandalism plaguing that business.
Authorities think a group of children is responsible for breaking into a house in the 3500 block of Walnut Drive in southeast Shawnee County. The incident happened between the 19th and the 22nd of October. They couldn't get in through the front door, so went to the back of the house, broke out a basement window, entering there. There's apparently no rhyme or reason to the damage they caused. They broke out light fixtures and punched holes in the walls, but they weren't through yet. From there, they went to another new home, this in the 3600 block of Southeast 36th Street, about a block away. They entered this time through a basement door and did even more damage than the first house. They destroyed a ceiling fan, a new light fixture, and then they got a hold of a fireplace grate, which they began using to punch holes in the walls. If you have information about these cases of vandalism or any crime in the Shawnee County area, call Crime Stoppers, the number 234-0007. Your information will remain confidential, and you could be eligible for a reward up to $1,000. For Crime Stoppers, Jim Doblin, WIBW News at 10.
A real crime was what happened to KU and K-State this weekend, but charges are not likely.
The polls have closed in the AP Writers Broadcasters football poll anyway. We'll take a look at what happened there. KU and K-State as they try to catch up on Nebraska and Oklahoma.